Just came in, a reminder that we are going to be focusing this evening on the historical and cultural aspects of marriage. We began with our first forum looking at the biblical and theological aspects of Christian marriage. And the format will be very similar tonight. If you had a chance to attend the first forum, I'll be doing some teaching, and then there'll be 3 periods of table discussion with some questions that I have provided for the facilitators. So we'll have plenty of time for small group discussion as well as more of the traditional lecture style. I want to remind you this evening that as important as Christian marriage is, you've heard me tell this story before, but on the day of my ordination, the bishop who ordained me, Mark Sisk, took all of us ordinands, there were about 7 or 8 of us, into a little side chapel in this big cathedral. And we were, of course, all nervous, and just finally this big day was here. And he took us aside and said, I want to tell you something that's important. I want you to remember the order of the vows that you have taken. First and foremost, you are all baptized children of God. And that is what matters most. Since some of you are married, you cannot be good priests unless you first are living into your baptismal vows. And you cannot be a good priest unless you are then living into your marriage vows. And then he went on to say that there's no vows for being a parent, but there might as well should be because it's such an important responsibility. But you cannot be a good priest unless you are being good parent. And so remember the order of the vows that you have taken. So that is an absolutely fundamental thing, that we first hear those words, dearly beloved, that begin our marriage service in the Episcopal Church, not just at marriage, not just even at confirmation, but in the waters of baptism, when we are welcomed into God's household, when we are marked as Christ's own forever. Each and every one of you here tonight are dearly loved by God. So with that in mind, we're going to jump right into some introductions and table discussion. These are the questions I want you This is an old presentation. Is Lindsay here? Give us a second, we have a technical difficulty. I was like, wait a minute, this is not what I'm talking about tonight. But here's the cool thing. You can go ahead and do your table discussion because you already have the questions right there. So I'm going to read them out just in case. First thing you need to do is just introduce yourself, your name. Okay? And then this is one or the other, you're going to be answering these questions. You don't have to do them both. The first question, think of a recent wedding that you've attended. What aspect or moment in that wedding was most moving to you, and why? Think of a recent wedding that you've attended. What aspect or moment in that wedding was most moving to you, and why? Or you could answer this question. Have you ever attended a wedding in a different religious tradition? What struck you about that ceremony? Attending a wedding in a different religious tradition. And what struck you about that ceremony? So we're going to take about 10 minutes. There's no rush for this discussion. In the meantime, we're going to try to get our ducks in a row here, get the right PowerPoint. But enjoy that table discussion, and we'll reconvene in a little bit.